Stormy Daniels asks court to make Trump talk. Judge ends her with one word by Dan Lindsay Politics, U.S. News from AdWorldNews.com. Adult film star Stormy Daniels and her attorney recently asked a court for an order to depose President Donald Trump. Now, the money-hungry actress has suffered a huge disappointment after the judge stopped her with one little word. Stormy Daniels and her attorney, Michael Avenatti, have been relentless in their quest to gain permission in court to legally sell Daniels' story to the highest bidder. According to Daily Caller, a California judge deflated Daniels' hope to depose Trump and make him talk, saying that her request was premature. Following the judge's ruling on Thursday, March 28, 2018, Avenatti took to Twitter to vent about how unfairly he and his client are being treated. Here is an order from the court denying our motion as premature on procedural grounds. We will refile the motion as soon as Donald Trump, MC, and EC LLC file their motion to compel arbitration seeking to hide the facts from public view. We expect this any day, Avenatti tweeted. All right. Michael Avenatti joined CNN's Wolf Blitzer in an interview to whine about having his request rejected by the judge and explained what steps he would take next. We're going to wait for the president and Mr. Cohen to file their motion to compel arbitration, and then we're going to immediately refile our motion, Avenatti explained. Again, Wolf, based on the language of the order that came down today, they are in a world of hurt. They are not in a good place. We told them what the law was before we filed the motion. They didn't seem to understand it. Maybe they're going to understand it now, but I think we're going to get the discovery that we've asked for, and I think we're going to get the trial we've asked for. Avenatti continued. In an attempt to make it look like less of a blow, Avenatti said it's not even a gnat. He told Blitzer, the court has denied this on procedural grounds. We know they're going to file it. We're going to refile it. I'm excited about the prospects now more than ever because of the order. Who would really want to read that crap?
Michael Avenatti, to react to this latest development. So what's your reaction to this federal judge's decision, Michael?
Well, Wolf, you know, over the course of my lifetime, it hasn't happened a lot, but it turns out that we were a little premature this time around. This is just a procedural ruling. It really means nothing, but I will tell you this. We're very, very encouraged by language in the order, not just suggesting, but basically finding that we're correct in the application of the law and the facts to this matter. This does not bode well for the president or Mr. Cohen, and all indications are that when this motion is heard on the merits, we're going to get the discovery and we're going to get the trial we've asked for. And I think that we've provided some portions of that order that are important for people to comprehend and understand.
Because a ruling from this federal judge says the court denies without prejudice plaintiff Stephanie Clifford's motion for expedited jury trial pursuant to Section 4 of the Federal Arbitration Act and for limited expedited discovery. That's legal words that obviously hard to understand, but what you're saying is that you're going to refile after the president or his attorney, Michael Cohen, have a chance to weigh in. Is that right?
Well, yeah, let me explain this to your viewers if I can. So basically what the court has said is that we have to wait until the president and Mr. Cohen file their motion to compel arbitration. And as soon as we do that, or as soon as they do that, we can refile this motion. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We expect that could be filed today. It could be filed in the next couple days. All indications are they're going to file that motion. Then we will in turn refile this motion. and then the court is going to make a determination. But Wolf, there's language in this order that I am very, very pleased with, because the court appears to agree with our assessment of the law, and it shows that what David Schwartz and others have said, that this motion had no merit, that is baseless. I mean, they're in a lot of trouble, Wolf. This is not good for the president, and it is not good for Mr. Cohen.
Well, it's at least a temporary gain for them, although, as you point out, you're going to refile and see what happens down the road. As you know, Michael Cohen's attorney and his friend David Schwartz, he was on CNN last night with Aaron Burnett, and he said that Michael Cohen, was acting independently of the president when he set up that $130,000 hush agreement to Stormy Daniels. Listen to this.
The president was not aware of the agreement. At least Michael Cohen never told him about the agreement. I can tell you that.
Not aware about the agreement. What about the money?
He was not aware about any of it. He was not aware. He wasn't told about it. Michael Cohen left the option open. That's why he left that signature line. The option open to go to him. He chose not to.
So what did you think when you heard that?
What I think is that if we could drive David Schwartz to more television appearances, we would do it ourselves, Wolf. Every time they go on television, our case gets better and better. They're in a world of hurt. That was very, very damaging to their position, that this is a valid agreement. Very damaging. And that's going to come back, well, because now what's happened is that David Schwartz has claimed that the president knew nothing about this, had no involvement in it, and if that is true, the agreement's going to be thrown out, because the president, and only the president, could bind himself to various provisions of that agreement. The agreement's going to be tossed out if what David Schwartz admitted to Aaron Burnett is true, Wolf.
Schwartz also suggested that Michael Cohen regularly set up those sorts of agreements without telling his client. Let me play another clip for you.
Because he's that close to him, he had great latitude to handle these matters. Great latitude.
So they happened with such frequency that you wouldn't need to tell about $130,000 payment?
Look, Michael was the fixer. We all know Michael. So it could be anything. It's not that there were a ton of matters that took place that Michael fixed. And Donald Trump wasn't involved in every single matter.
So what's your reaction to that?
Well, Wolf, I mean, this is legal buffoonery. I mean, it just gets, these guys are making it up as it goes along. I just, you know, as a guy that has practiced law at a high level and against some really good attorneys around this country for 20 years, I mean, this is just amazing to me. I mean, David Schwartz, if that's to be believed, there's significant ethical concerns now relating to Michael Cohen's conduct in supposedly settling cases without authority. That raises a whole host of additional issues for Michael Cohen. I mean, these guys just can't get it straight, Wolf.
Did Stormy Daniels' first lawyer, Keith Davidson, reach out to Michael Cohen about that $130,000 payoff, 11 or 12 days before the presidential election?
No.
Because that's what they argue. They argue that they were approached by Keith Davidson. Keith Davidson came up with the $130,000 figure, and Michael Cohen paid it.
It's not accurate, Wolf.
How do you know that? How do you know that? Have you spoken to Keith Davidson about this?
I'm not going to get into the details, Wolf, as to how I know that, but look, that assertion is just as accurate as Michael Cohen paying the $130,000 from his own money and never talking to the president about it, and the president knowing nothing about it. It's patently false.
Will your client, Stormy Daniels, release Keith Davidson, her first lawyer, from what he describes as attorney-client privilege that prevents him from discussing all this publicly?
I don't know, Wolf. We haven't discussed it. That's a big determination for a whole variety of reasons that are far more important in many instances than this particular finite issue. She may consider it, and she'll make a determination ultimately.
But if your goal is for the American people, the American public, to know the entire truth, and you're simply seeking transparency, that's what she said in her interview on 60 Minutes with Anderson Cooper, why not release him and let him tell everything he knows publicly?
I'll tell you what, Wolf, we'll make this challenge. If Michael Cohen and the president will waive the attorney-client privilege relating to this NDA and all of the others, my client will as well. How about that?
Well, you know, but you could release them right away, even on your own, if you're simply seeking transparency and letting the American people know exactly what happened.
Well, Wolf, again, This has got to be a two-way street. Where is Michael Cohen? Where is the president? We've got no information from them. Zero. We continue to go on television. We're asked tough questions from you and others. We're answering those questions. These guys are nowhere to be found except for the legal buffoonery of David Schwartz.
Did Keith Davidson, from your perspective, act ethically on behalf of your client, Stormy Daniels?
I have an opinion on that, Wolf, but I'm not going to state it on national television. I don't feel comfortable doing that.
Well, of course, the mainstream media is more than eager to eat this up as they continue bashing President Donald Trump for what they would like to portray as sins of the past. It's hilarious to see the left's attempts to alienate Trump's base by promoting the Stormy Daniels drama. I don't think liberals have figured out that Trump's supporters really only care about one thing: making America great again. According to USA News, Daniels' attorney was ridiculed by CNN's Morning Joe host Micah Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough. This attorney, Michael Avenatti, is like feeling very Gloria Allred to me, overexposed in a huge way, and in this specific case he is overexposed. Joe and he has under-delivered, Brzezinski said. If you're a lawyer and you've got all the evidence that you need that's going to prove that you're ultimately in the right, you don't go on cable news 10, 12 times a day. Scarborough responded. You don't call Michael Cohen a punk, screaming at the top of your lungs on Anderson Cooper's show. You sure don't tease out a CD and say, hey, look what we've got. Look what we've got. Scarborough said, I'm sorry, that's Bush League. All of those things are what Bush League lawyers do when they're in it to get the publicity. And his actions over the past 2 days have been really surprising because he's overpromised and he's under-delivered time and time again. It's always amusing when the left attacks the left. I don't see Daniels' lawsuit against Trump going anywhere, and honestly, conservatives in America don't care about her allegations of an affair with the president. Perhaps it's time for Daniels to get a real job and earn a living like the rest of us. Maybe it's a thought. Look, they're looking for money now, you know what I'm saying? That's basically the bottom line, whether it's from Trump, whether it's from a book deal. They don't care where it comes from or how it comes from. They just want some money, and they want some heavy-duty money. That's basically the bottom line. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and again, thank you so much for watching.